Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the please. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing yet. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Seal my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them noxious. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And woo. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo. Watch out, set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare, I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
Yeah, had a
up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving it energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even when I still feel like garbage. As you guys know, I have not felt very good the past couple of days, but I did not want to cancel another live stream, so I'm here for another... I almost said premium live stream. Another Frankie Candles live stream, guys. I want to do a quick market update with you guys because I don't know if you guys can see that I'm clammy, but I don't want to go without another live stream here. So I just wanted to hop on and at least give you guys a little bit of a market update on Bitcoin, as there are some new things to be taken a look at. Oh God, my audio is definitely getting completely blown out here. All right, shout out to Rob. Thank you for that, bro. Said slightly clipping. Hopefully that is better. Sorry about that, DMB Smurf. Yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden I keep touching these buttons. But yeah, hopefully that is. Hamza said short stream. I bet. I don't even want to bet. I don't even want to bet on myself here. I don't know how long we're gonna go for. I'm basically gonna go until I can't stand my head throbbing anymore. But what is going on, guys? Welcome back in. Thank you for tuning in to another Frankie Candles live stream. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. It is the easiest and most free way that you guys can help push out this live stream to more unknowing future CandleMafia members to help grow this community into an unstoppable force, even more unstoppable than it already is. But we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, guys. We do have some things that are popping up on the chart. As you guys know, Bitcoin has been pretty horrifically boring lately, but we are seeing a few things on the charts that may finally be pointing towards a move. Is that move to the upside or the downside? We're going to dive into that, and either way, I'm going to prepare you guys with the key levels in both directions. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Candles just came in and gave me the stink eye saying I'm too loud. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Yeah, we're going to be taking a look. Either way, guys, I'm going to give you those key levels to the upside and the downside to help you guys be prepared, whether we get that move. Is everything okay, Mrs. Candles? Oh, what did you break? Oh, Mrs. Candles broke the light. It's okay. I'll fix it later. You're fine. All right. Shout out to come show some hand, Mrs. Candles. I don't feel good. Come on. Show a little hand for the Mafia. Come on. Come on. There's that hand. Fondle the microphone a little bit. Oh. Do it again. Oh. Okay, nice. Now get out of here. Love you. Anyway, guys, I want to keep you guys updated with those key levels to the upside and at the downside. So whatever happens in this market, as it is still somewhat mixed, like I said, there are some clear signals here that we're going to go over. I want you guys to have those key levels that you need to be keeping your eye on. I'm also going to go over a little scalp short that I took with the premium Discord a little bit earlier. We'll talk about that. I'll do a little trade recap for you guys. And then maybe if I can make it into that altcoin section of the stream, we will take a look at those altcoins. But before we jump into it, let's go ahead and shout out the Mafia. Here we got Rob the Crypto Snob. Shout out to all our mods. You guys know who they are. Show them some love in the chat if you love them. Well, you're not going to love them as much as I do, but if you love them, show them some love in the chat. Shout out to Wayne C. dropping those Mrs. Candles hands. Those emojis are ridiculous. Fun fact, guys, that is an actual picture of Mrs. Candles' real hand. But shout out to Nigel Smith. What is going on? Let's see. Dave Digital said, shout out to Dave, says, head throbbing, drink your water, don't feel good. How much water have you drank today? Feeling tired? I bet you need more water. Dave, I'm going to go ahead and just agree with you there. A lot of times, if you don't feel good and you just chug a bottle of water, you'll be surprised how good it'll make you feel. Do I follow that? Maybe not, but it is the truth. So shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to Jay Gilly. What is going on, bro? Showing some love to the mods. We got the other TJ in the chat said, y'all got to hit that like button. Shout out to Pennywise and shout out to Mr. Ethereum, guys. And with this short stream, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We missed a couple of streams here. I'm going to go ahead and give 2 Frankie Candles hats. If we could get to 500 likes, not even our typical 550, if we get to 500 likes, I will give away 2 Frankie Candles hats, which is going to make for a mega giveaway on Friday because we actually have 2 giveaways to do on that day. So maybe we'll sauce it up a little bit if we break that goal, but 500 likes gets you guys 2 free hats, or one person or 2 people will get 1 hat, not 2 hats for everybody. That'd be crazy. But with all that being said, guys, I think it's enough housekeeping, and let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and see what the heck this thing Bitcoin is going to do next. Let's get into it. So here we are on the Bitcoin chart, guys, and first off, I just want to go ahead and hide all of the not insignificant levels, but more of the intermediary levels. Shout out to Dave Digital said, my hat is dirty now. I need another one. Well, shout out to Dave. You are officially the Mafia member that will be cheered for in the giveaways. Shout out to Dave. I hope you win a hat. Maybe should we just do 3 hats so Dave has an extra chance to get a new clean hat? All right, shout out to Tony D. If we hit 500, we'll give away 3 hats, and hopefully Dave Digital gets one. Shout out to Dave. But let's jump on in here. Shout out from New Zealand. Shout out to Trader NZ. What is going on, bro? Tony D said 17 hats. Think we got lost in translation there, but shout out to Tony D. But let's go ahead and jump on in here, guys. First off, I want to take off those local levels and just kind of show you guys the key levels that I'm looking at in more of the long term. I'm going to start on the higher time frames. I'm going to work our way down those lower time frames, and I'm going to break down each context, right? So first off, let's start on the weekly, and I want to talk about a few things here. Now, as you guys know, we have had some pretty mixed signals pop up recently on Bitcoin with our daily money flow just kind of bing-bonging around in the red, in the green, which we are now going back into the green. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But as I want to start a little bit higher here, but I just wanted to kind of point out that we have been seeing a lot of mixed signals as Bitcoin just kind of wiggles around here. between this range of 58 to 59K all the way up to 74K, being that new all-time high. Are we going to finally see a breakout here? I want to show a couple of signals that could be potentially pointing to that, and then we'll cover the local price action. Like I said, I am also in a scalp short right now, so in the longer term, my bias still is bullish. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but that does not mean that we cannot capitalize on these smaller moves down to get these little scalp shorts and cash in as price kind of just goes sideways. So first off, guys, taking a look at the monthly, right? We had this monthly red dot confirm. Obviously, this was a few days ago, but we do have this monthly red dot confirm. Now, this was something that I was looking at. Let me actually pull up the Bitstamp chart to pull up a little bit more price action here. You can see we have that red dot confirmed. Now, this was something that was potentially pointing to much more downside. You guys can see that every other time we've gotten one of these red dots on the monthly, it has resulted in pretty significant pushbacks. I don't know why I said pushback, pullback. And, this last one back here in April of 2021 wound up resulting in about a, is that right? That can't be right. 50% move to the downside. And then we got that second one here, which was essentially the beginning of the bear market, which obviously wound up resulting in much more of a dump than the first one, as this was our actual bear market. But we did wind up confirming another red dot here on the monthly. I do want to point out here, right? This is an oversold red dot, right? The one down here was not an oversold red dot, but now we have not only the red dot, but our momentum is in that oversold situation. Now, am I really nervous about this? Do I think this is definitely going to give Bitcoin a big move down? Not necessarily, but it is something I want you guys to be aware of, right? This is on the charts, and you never know what's going to happen, but looking back in hindsight, this is likely going to be something, if we do wind up seeing a bigger dump, you're going to look back and be like, ugh. Red dot on the monthly. We should have seen it coming. But there are some things on the lower, higher time frames that could be pointing against this, right? Now, one thing to understand here is, in my opinion, we are not in a situation like this, right? This is an oversold monthly red dot as we were hitting all-time highs deep into the cycle, right? We are not, in my opinion, this far along in our cycle just yet. So, you have to take the context of the actual cycles in mind as well, right? You have to be aware of this stuff. But in my opinion, we are more in a situation like this, right, where you have the halving already come in, and then, you wind up getting a little bit of a push to the upside, and now we're getting a red dot more in this area of the market. This is why I'm not really saying that, this red dot is like the scariest thing ever, right? If this was the case back here when we were already breaking all-time highs, we knew we were around the area of the 4-year cycle where those tops come in, this would be much more alarming to see at that point, right? Both of these red dots would be more alarming than the one that we're seeing right now. But it is on the charts. I want you guys to be aware of it. But again, I'm not really too worried about it just because of where we are in the cycle. This could potentially be at a high risk of getting completely stepped on. So working our way down to the weekly time frame here, guys, this is interesting, right? VWAP is coming down. Technically, our money flow is continuing down as well. This VWAP is not really much to take away from this. This could easily come back up. This could easily print a red dot. This is kind of in no man's land, so there's nothing really to write home on the weekly here, but just, the takeaways here, in my opinion, are that money flow is still kind of trending down, although coming up locally, and that VWAP is technically flopping over just a little bit. So maybe this could, this would be a point for the bears, right? And another thing I am going to be looking at here is look at these momentum waves, guys. Oftentimes, when we see momentum waves making lower highs like this, like back here in July, or July of 2023, we saw this lower high coming in on our momentum waves as we were putting in higher highs on our price action. Right now, it wasn't that strong, but we did have higher highs on our price action as we had that weekly momentum wave making a lower high, giving us that weekly bearish divergence. Now, was this the end of the bull market? Was this going to bring us down to lower lows? Not necessarily, right? But it did wind up resulting in quite a move down of about 20%. So these are things that we have to be aware of. And as you guys can see, now, obviously, we didn't have money flow in the green just yet. I guess it was in the green technically. But this is something we can keep an eye on as well, because as we do have some really key levels above here, guys, we have this all-time high, at least on the Bitstamp chart, is currently sitting at, why is this not labeled? Why is this not showing up on the price line here? Interesting. I don't know why that's happening. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, this level, the all-time high right now is coming in, at least on the Bitstamp chart, coming in at about $73,794, about $74,000. And what I would be not worried about here, but what I would be cautious of is if we are going to see somewhat of a repeat of that weekly bearish divergence, something like we saw back down here. Again, not going to be looking to go to zero, but could cause somewhat of a pullback. And if we do wind up getting that, we do have this key level that we could potentially come up into to put that higher high in. This is actually going to kind of go into that scalp short that I took today because it's a very similar setup. But if we do get this weekly candle to come push up into that all-time high, and we do not break through that all-time with a lot of volume and a lot of momentum, and it is more of just what we call liquidity grab or a swing failure, where we come above that level and then we wick back down and we close the body of that candle down below, this could be an opportunity to potentially be looking for swing shorts, in my opinion, as we would not only be putting a bearish divergence in on the weekly, which again, if you just backtest, we know does result in pullbacks, right? Not go to zero, but significant pullbacks most of the time. But a little bit of a chef's kiss on that to give a little bit of extra sauce to that setup would be getting an SFP on that level as well. Now, you don't necessarily need to see both those things happen. I don't typically trade weekly SFPs, but it would just be kind of an addition, or like I said, that chef's kiss to add a little bit more confirmation to that pushback. But what do we need to do to get up there? Well, we're probably going to need a little bit of a pump, right? And this is going to lead me into kind of my next section of the live stream, which is going to be, could we get a little pump here? And but I do just want to bring that up, right? So this could wind up being bearish, but it is not printing just yet, so we have to wait for the price action to develop to see if we see that bear div come in. But this is definitely something you want to have in your notes, on your sticky pad, on your computer, wherever you write your notes. You want to be aware of this situation potentially presenting itself, whether it happens today, tomorrow, next week, 2 months from now, who knows? But you want to be aware of that potential situation, because trading is all about seeing the setup before it presents itself, so you could be ready to act on that setup as price comes into your key level. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on down here to the 2-day, which I'll be honest with you guys, the 2-day does look a little bit pumpy here, right? We have money flow creeping back up here on the 2-day with that fresh green dot, and we are starting to see a little bit of a push to the upside. Now, another thing I want to do here is I want to pull up the major kind of range that we've been looking at. I'm going to turn off these dailies and these weeklies, and I'm going to turn on this current range that we're looking at, right? Is this pulled to our current price action? Let me just double check for you guys. I apologize if the energy is low. It's hard for me to keep a consistent shouting voice, or my head will probably explode, which would probably be pretty decent for views. But anyway, here we are, right? So in the grand scheme of things, I mean, this is the range that we've been looking at for over 3 months, right? Essentially 92 days, right? Depending on where you measure it from. But essentially, we've been ranging around here for almost 3 months. And, this is just the same price action we've been looking at. This is why Bitcoin's been so boring. And we are just stuck within this volume profile, right? But one thing, I am still in my long position, which I will pull up in just a second. Let me see if I'm logged in here. Yeah, I will pull that up in just a second. But I am still long from here. I have profits taken already on this trade, right? So if we do wind up coming down, I mean, we have plenty of room here before I get stopped out. But I actually think I took my stop loss off of this temporarily. Yes, I did. But I have profits locked in on this, right? So, once I set my stop loss again, which hopefully I remember to do before bedtime, it will be a guaranteed winning trade, right? If we wind up nuking overnight, I'll just get stopped out in profit. But if you guys remember, when we were looking at that long position, not only were we looking for the entry down here, but as we rode up, as we hit this value area high, you guys know that I was remaining bullish in my longer term bias. And the reason for that, if you remember, was specifically that we had changed character on the daily, right? We had this change of character here, right? So we held our long from the value area low. We moved up into that POC, which was down here at the time. And then at that point, I was willing to hold this trade for 2 reasons. Number one is once you hit that POC, all you got to do is flip it to support. And that next likely place for price to go is going to be right up to that value area high, which is exactly what we wound up seeing, right? So, but on top of that, we have this change of character, bullish change of character on the daily, right? Which is a higher time frame, and once you get these changes of character, guys, regardless of what time frame you're looking at, you could be looking at the 5-minute, the 7-minute, the 20-minute, the 15-minute, the 3-day, the 2-week, whatever you're looking at. Once you have that bullish change of character, it is going to be more safe. I hate to use the word safe, but it is more valid to be looking for longs on higher lows, right? Rather than just looking for shorts down to zero, right? And this is why I was willing to hold a portion of that position, beyond the POC. And even as we hit this value area high, our key level of support became that POC, which we are continuing to hold, right? So the market structure is still technically bullish here, and we could still potentially anticipate a break of structure here to continue off to higher prices. And this is a scenario that we looked at. I don't even know what live stream it was. It was probably like a week or two ago, maybe a week ago, as we just haven't really seen much price action here. But this is still my plan for this trade, right? I've just have to sit in the trade for quite some time because price has just kind of, this whole move here, right? For 9 days, we basically just went up and down sideways, right? Like there's just nothing really happened. And now we are finally back up to that value area high. So this is now our key level, right? Now, again, I am scalp short from up here, and I will break that down in just a minute. But as we approach this value area high, guys, the question is, are we going to break out here and approach that new all-time high sitting at $73,951, right? $74,000. And with this 2-day, I think if we do it, I think that 2-day green dot could be a good catalyst. And we also have on the daily, we also have the money flow crossing back over into the green. Now, here's the thing, right? This money flow on the daily has been faking us out up, down, green, red, constantly. Well, I guess not constantly, but, fake out here. Is this going to be another fake out? And the answer is we don't know, right? But technically and binarily, which is a word that I made up, but just factually and technically, based off the information that we're given here on the charts, money flow crossover into the green on the daily would make you anticipate a continuation to the upside, right? So there are a few things pointed to the upside here that could potentially give us that continuation that we've been looking for ever since we took that long position. So let me actually go ahead and pull up that long position right here. So long position sitting right here. It was I did take profit. It was originally like a $40,000 position. I have $28,000. The size of the trade is about $28,000 left. Up 137%. Got almost $1,400 locked in, and then almost $4,000 in unrealized profit. Now the reason that I only took about 30% out of this trade, and I am willing to hold this for that next break to the upside, potential break to the upside, right? We do not know what's going to happen, but the reason I am holding this to get another break to the upside is based off those very specific things, right? Not just because I feel bullish, not just because up only, not because I heard it online somewhere, right? This is simply based off of what I am seeing on the charts, right? And with that money flow crossover into the green on the daily and that 2-day green dot, I do think there is a possibility of potentially getting above that value area high, which now remains the line in the sand, to get at least a move up to that all-time high at about $74,000. And you might be asking yourself, well, Frankie, what if we just get some kind of breakout and it winds up being something much bigger than just a break to the all-time high and we wind up just getting like a moonshot? Where could we potentially be going? And in my opinion, guys, the next major level, now I'm not even going to, let me actually see if I can get it to pull up something similar on this extension right here. I bet you I can. So sitting right here at about $81,000 is going to be a big target for me, right? Now, there are many reasons I'm looking at this as a target. It's actually not based off this extension, although we do have a key level here. But this is based off higher time frame analysis. Let me see if I can go ahead and let me see if I can pull up the right chart here. Bada boom, right? So right here, this is a longer-term Fibonacci extension level sitting at about $81,620, which, funny enough, is like almost exactly this level. Between $81,000 and $82,000, going to be a big level as we continue up here. Now, sure, $75,000. That's probably going to give you a little bit of a fight. 75,000, somewhat of a psychological number. And then we have this $78,000 level here. So obviously we are going to expect some kind of turbulence on these levels. But that $81,000 level is going to be a pretty big target in my opinion. And it is not just the Fibonacci extension level, but also the fact that we have these spider lines when we put it on log. We have this pocket of spider lines. And if you guys watch the show, you'll know we've looked at this many times. We haven't looked at it in a while just because Bitcoin's been so boring. But if we are going to get a move up here, this is going to be that next target I'm looking at, right? Between 81,000 and I guess, if we do wind up continuing to rip, that's the next big level. But this spider line is coming in just in that zone as well. And then as you move up here, you have another fib level and another spider line coming right up in that pocket, pretty much bringing you up to about $86,000. So this is definitely going, I wouldn't be looking at this as like one giant zone, but I would look at that like $81,000-ish level as kind of the next major target. And then once you get above there, Obviously, we got to get above all this first. But once you get above that $81,000 level, we do have quite a bit of resistance up here. So I would expect some kind of stop here at this zone. So that's going to be that next big target to the upside that I am looking at. Now, again, are the charts screaming, oh my God, there's a breakout coming? I wouldn't say it's screaming it. It is still somewhat mixed. It's been like that for like 3 months now, which is like, I'll be honest with you guys, this is some of the most brutal price action I've ever had to like report on here on YouTube. It's some of the most boring, brutal price action to make content about. But the signals are somewhat mixed, right? So if we are able to confirm that green dot, which is going to happen in about $1.52, whew, I'm having a conscious fever dream right now, guys. Coming in at going to confirm here in an hour and 52 minutes. So if we are able to get that to confirm, this could potentially give us a little bit more upside, especially with that money flow crossover on the daily. And these are the next key levels that I will be looking at. First major level all-time high at 73,951. Next major level sitting at about 78K. And then right above that is your $81,000 target. The reason that we're using these Fibonacci extensions as well as the spider lines is simply because we cannot go back in time and find structural support or resistance because we've never been in here before, right? This is as soon as we break that all-time high, we are in price discovery. So that is what I am going to be looking at for the most part. Again, here we are for the third month in a row. We are tapping on that door. We really want to see a breakout here. But again, like I said earlier, we could look for that potential short as we get up to that all-time high if we do get a sweep of the liquidity up here. Because remember, as we break out here, a deviation above this macro range is typically where you want to look for short positions. But with the way Market Cipher B is starting to lock and load back to the upside, potentially, not quite yet, but potentially looking to lock and load back to the upside, it may be the break of this level that we need to continue to the upside. But if not, if we break up and we start getting resistance and we start seeing a lot of liquidations and we see open interest coming down and it is a clear swing failure or liquidity sweep that's happening up here at the all-time high, you bet your bottom dollar I am going to take my shot at taking potential short positions up there to capitalize. God forbid we get another move back down to the bottom of this range. I really hope that doesn't happen. And again, as long as we remain bullish on the daily, remember that market structure and that change of character on the daily here, as long as we remain above this POC, we could anticipate, especially with everything else I just mentioned, we could anticipate that continuation to the upside. And if you guys want to check out and have your market structure labeled like it is here on my chart, you can check out Lux Algo in the description down below. This is only a very, very, very small part of their indicators. And if you guys want to check out my free indicator, which is the Frankie Candles Essentials in collaboration with Lux Algo, it's 100% free, no strings attached. Search my name in TradingView, which will never not be the coolest thing in the world to me. But if you just type in my name on TradingView, you will see this. Lux Algo collaboration, Frankie Candles Essentials. You can click this. It's a souped up fixed range volume profile with built-in auto Fibonacci levels, built-in auto divergence detection, and much more. So go check that out for 100% free. But if you want to check out their premium stuff, which is super, super useful, especially for finding these changes of character super easily, so you don't actually have to physically look for them, you can check the link in the description down below. Shout out to Lux Algo. And actually another thing on Lux Algo that I am looking at here, let me go ahead and turn off that smart trail and turn on our Neo Cloud, which is simply a I guess it behaves like a moving average somewhat, or an Ichimoku cloud, right? But you can see this has flipped from red to blue, which would also be bullish as we flip that POC to support. So this is another bullish sign here on Lux Algo that could add that continuation to the upside on top of all the stuff that we're looking at on Market Cipher and just generally what the price action looks like right now with the market structure. It does look like we could potentially continue up, but you have to understand we are hitting local resistance, right? So likely we're not just going to yeet up in a straight line. Probably get some noise here, but hopefully we can get a breakout here, guys, because if this thing turns back around and goes back down to this value area low, oh, baby, I'm going to be so bored. I'm going to be so bored, and I won't be able to take it anymore. But with all that being said, let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Got to move this cup out of the way. Shout out to KE, not to be confused with KT. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for that super chat. Says thoughts on Sui. So what I'm going to do here, guys, as I'll go ahead and jump into Sui, or actually shout out to Rob. If you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in the chat right now. Rob the Crypto Snob will count the votes and let us know what coins we're looking at. Rob, let's do 2 requests, and then I'll do Ethereum and Sui, and then that will be it for tonight, because like I said, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to go here. Actually doing okay right now. So, but let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Rob. Thank you for that, brother. Let's see. Shout out to Dave said, we missed y'all, Tony D and Frankie Candles at Consensus Austin 2024. It was amazing traveling with the Billy Goat Tales team. Got to meet so many people in the space. Way cool. Shout out to Dave. I never answered that text message. Billy sent me a picture of you two, and I can't tell you the FOMO I was feeling. I felt so left out. Not that you guys left me out, but I couldn't be there. I was very upset. It would have been so cool to be in that picture with you guys. But we will be at Bitcoin Nashville as of right now. So if you guys are going to the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, hopefully we will see you guys there. And if you see us out there, please, for the love of God, come up and say hi to us. I don't bite. Tony D does bite. I don't bite. But if you guys want to come up and say hi, just say, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Say hi to Tony D. He does not bite. He might give you pizza, though. You might be like, hey, Tony D. You'll be like, hey, you want a slice? I'm not kidding. That'll probably happen. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on into Ethereum here, guys, really, really quickly. It's coming in right now. Let me hide the indicators real quick. Coming in right now at about 38.11. Not looking too horrible. And I mean, things are pretty simple right now on ETH, right? And I hate to say it, but it's the same thing. But it's the same thing that we've been looking at, right? As long as we remain above this value area high, value area low, right, which is the value area low of this larger range, right? This is, for the most part, what you want to see, right? We got a big impulse, right? We had one range down here that we were sitting in, right? Value area, bada boom, bada bing, right? A little value area right here. And then we got that nice impulse to the upside, and we were able to hop on top of this spider line. And shout out to CryptoFace, guys. There are new spider lines. I'm not going to show you how to draw them today, but go check out CryptoFace's channel. He dropped a video on how to draw the new spider lines that are drawn from a different area in the market than the old ones. The old ones still work. I want to be clear. At least he has them on Bitcoin. I don't know if he has an Ethereum one, but go check out his video. Shout out to the GOAT. I'll make a tutorial at some point, but go check out CryptoFace's video on that. And I will say the old ones are still 100% legit, 100% valid, but now that we have enough price action to draw new ones on Bitcoin, I guess you could draw them on Ethereum as well. But now that we have new ones, we just have more spider lines to look at, and you just go watch his video. They are respected. And like I said, I will be talking about them more, but go check out his video for now. Shout out to Digital K, said, faces. Yes, face is thumbs up. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, go watch his video. But anyway, with these spider lines, we hopped right on top of that spider line, held it as support, and then we were able to get a reclaim of this value area low. And right now, we are just holding on for dear life. And keep it simple. When it's not confusing and when it's not hard to identify what's going on, keep it simple. KISS. Anybody learn that in school? Or did I just have mean teachers? Keep it simple, stupid. But as we hopped on top of this value area low and we are holding it as support, as long as we remain above this level, guys, we could potentially look for that continuation up to our POC, sitting at about $4,085. Once you hop on top of that POC, up to that value area high, you are likely to go at 43.91, and then we even have some other higher levels up here. But that all-time high is going to get very close if we start getting moves up there. From where we are right now, it is only about a 27% pump to that all-time high. But right now, the key level of support is 100%, in my opinion, going to be 37.57, which is the value area low or doorway to higher prices. And then if we do wind up losing this value area low, I will say this spider line is going to be absolutely key to hold, because if we lose this spider line, guys, let me go ahead and pull up that VPVR real quick. If we lose this spider line, which would essentially, actually, let me look at more of the local price action. Come on, volume. There you go, right? We have this massive volume gap locally from this huge impulse to the upside. And we always say this, and it always plays out, right? Not always, but more often than not, when you get these big moves to the upside, you will get fast, big moves to the downside based off these volume gaps, right? So this, in my opinion, this spider line is going to be absolutely key to hold. And if I had to put an actual range on it, let me pull that VPVR back up. Bada boom. If I had to put an actual range on it, I would probably give you, I would probably give it, I would say, Yeah, between about 36.75 and 36.24 is absolutely key to hold, because once you lose that, you're at risk of falling through this gap and potentially revisiting these prices down here, which we do not want to do. Would undo a lot of progress that we made. But the lucky thing, or the nice thing here, is that you have that spider line, and not only that spider line, it also comes, I mean, heck, we could look at this zone, right? Because you have your golden pocket. Even if we came down here for a 786 retracement, like, you could still potentially continue that move to the upside, in my own personal opinion. But that 786 would be the real line in the sand, 36.26, which is not far off of what I just marked out. I think it was 30. Was it 36? Hang on. What was that? I gotta see. Yeah, literally the same level. So that is definitely going to be that key level to watch. Lose that level, probably in danger of coming down to some of these lower levels. But other than that, let's hold above that value area low and potentially get that move to the upside. So there we go. Let's see. Shout out to Ken Barkoff, said, don't forget to take profits. Shout out to Ken Barkoff. I couldn't agree anymore. Shout out to you. I literally have to think about what I'm saying, guys. I'm on probably 15% battery right now. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Hey, shout out to Origin Trader, said, hey, Frankie, what is your best advice to grow my 5K account to 50K? I got it from 500 to 5K to prove to myself, but I want to up the game. What's some advice? Hope you're feeling better. Shout out to Origin Trades, or Origin Trader, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. I appreciate the kind words. And I would say this, bro, flipping 500 into 5K is commendable. That is a good flip. So if that's working, right, I wouldn't really recommend changing too much, right? My personal opinion, when I find something, or when I ever found something that worked, it really only stopped working when I tried to change things, right? So shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Thank you for that, brother. I appreciate you. So I wouldn't really change much. The one thing with a small account, which now that you have 5K in the account, still somewhat of a smaller account. But when I mention a small account, like when I do small account challenges, I usually drop $500 to $1,000 in it, and then try to grow it from there. But I would say this: if you if it's been working, I wouldn't really change too much. One thing I will say is it is all about your risk management, right? I don't know how you were able, I don't know what got you from that 500 to the 5,000. I don't know if it was like a couple of big good trades. I don't know if it was a slow and steady wins over time. But keep that in mind, right? Your P&L curve, right? Your P&L. You do not, I talk about this in the premium Discord a lot, as this is the stuff that really makes you the money, right? All the setups in the world are not going to make you any money if you do not know how to manage the trades, right? So if you're trying to grow a small account, we'll make this the educational part of the stream here, and I'm going to help you guys out because I know a lot of people are not working with a ton of money. But here's my entertainment, right? Not my advice, but my entertainment. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is really what you want to focus on. You want to focus on your risk management, right? Because if you put $1,000 in your account, right? So let's say you have 1K. Let me just go ahead and take these arrows off so I can make this a little bit better, right? So let's say you start your account with $1,000, right? Now, this is why risk management is so important. You want your P&L. A lot of people want their P&L to look like that, right? And they just want it to go up to 100K, right? This is not the reality of trading, because in trading, no matter how good your strategy is, you are going to take losses here and there, right? And maybe even lose, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 of your trades. And this is why, and there's no way around that, right? The market is always going to do something unpredictable at some point. There's no strategy that is just going to hit every single time. Trust me, sometimes I thought that I found a strategy that was like, this is never going to lose, right? But trust me, when you start to feel like that, the market will humble you. The key is to not change anything when it's working. Don't let the wins get to your head. Don't start being like, oh, I just won 5 trades in a row. Let me up the size here, right? Now, I'm not saying you should never scale up your size, right? I'm actually... In my personal accounts, I'm actually going through that right now where I'm trying to scale up my positions. But this is not something that I do off of a high of a winning streak, right? This is very dangerous. You do not want to do this. But what you want to do is you want your P&L is very likely going to do this. Maybe you get a win off the bat or maybe not, right? But as long as your losses are smaller than your wins, right? So you might put $1,000 in the account, you lose a trade. Put $1,000 in the account, you lose a trade. You lose a trade, you lose another trade, right? And then maybe you hit a TP1 on a trade, right? And then you lose a trade, and then you lose a trade, and then you get a full TP. And now you're up, right? Now you're, say, at 1,200 or whatever it is, right? And then you lose another 3 trades. But you're stopping yourself out at a small loss. 1, 2, 3 losses. And then you hit a TP1. And then you hit a full trade. And then you get 2 losses. And then you hit a TP1. and then you hit 3 losses, and then you get a full TP, right? And it's this slow climb that nobody wants to go through, right? Everybody just wants to go in, put $1,000 on the trade, 1,000x, 100x leverage, and they just want it to go straight up. But this is not the reality of things. So my entertainment, not my education, or my education to you would be this, right? Let's say you were taking 5 trades, right? And again, I do this in the premium. I did this in the premium the other day. If you take, say, 5 trades, right? Or let's say it's 8 trades, right? So this is the reality of trading. Everybody wants it to be this one trade goes up a bazillion %. But likely, you're going to come in, it's going to go your way, you're going to be like, yes, yes, you're not going to pay yourself, and you're going to get stopped out at a small loss. And then you're going to get into another one, and it's just going to stop you out instantly, right? But this is not where you say, oh my God, my strategy's broken. I shouldn't be doing this. I need to change my strategy. Maybe I should be looking at liquidity. Maybe support and resistance isn't working. Should I be trading patterns? Should I be looking at the order flow? Don't overcomplicate it, right? Stopped out, right? And then maybe you even lose this one, almost hits your TP1, and then stops you out again. That's 3 losses in a row. But all you need to do, right, depending on your risk to reward ratio, which I don't like anything other than lower than a 1.5. But if you have good risk management and you get a full TP here, and then another stop out, and then another one, you hit TP1, right? So you took profit on this, it gets stopped out in profit, and then you get another full winner, and then you get a loss again, right? Now, this is going to depend on like how big your stop losses are. You have to make sure you're managing your risk the correct way, but maybe I'll make a video about that soon. This is something that I should talk about a lot more. I mean, I guess I talk about it a lot. But here's the thing, right? You lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You lost 5 out of your 8 trades, right? More than half of your trades. But these wins will cover all 3 of these losses normally, right? And this one TP1 will cover this loss plus a little profit. So you can literally lose more trades than you're winning. Say out of 10, you could lose 7 out of 10 of your trades. But as long as the losses are small and the wins are big, and you are taking TP1s and moving your stop loss to profit and letting your winners run, you only need 1 or 2 winners, right? Again, depending on how many trades you're measuring it out of what your stop loss is. But as long as you're making those winners run and you're holding them and you're cutting your losses, the key is cutting the losses, right? Paying yourself in the green and cutting your losses when you're wrong is the key to becoming profitable. I would say it's 80% of trading. This is it, right? This is 80% of becoming a profitable trader. So you could literally, because you're never going to get a strategy where you're just going to go, oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, I just win every trade. Oh my God. Like, this is not going to happen. This is just simply not the reality. It doesn't matter how good of a trader you are. You're going to take losses at times, right? And the key is to not let it get stuck in your head. And don't let the winners get in your head either, because that could be just as dangerous as getting, fearful from your losses. And this would be my key education for you guys. And especially on a small account, taking profit is almost more important than your losses, right? Obviously, the losses are important, but when you have a small account, if you're trading with $500, you can't be looking for $1,000 gain, right? You're looking for, again, it would depend on a lot of different factors, but you're not looking to turn that 500 into 1,000 in one day. It's just not how it's too risky, right? When you're working with a small amount of money, you have to be okay taking those small wins over time, and that's really when your P&L slowly creeps up, right? And that can be pretty brutal. It's just the name of the game, right? The more money you have, the higher profit or the more money that you can make, right? But the beautiful thing is, if you can lock in that risk management and you'll lock in those wins and cut those losers short, that account will grow over time, and that exponential compounding growth of the account will slowly up your position sizes naturally. So my thing, shout out to, I forget who even asked the question, but that is basically what I would say, is make sure you're managing your risk, and don't let the winners get in your head. And if what you're doing has worked from 500 to 5,000, I personally wouldn't change anything, right? Unless it was just like a couple lucky trades, or not even lucky, just like a couple big trades. That'd be different. But if you consistently slowly grew that up, I wouldn't change a thing. Going from 5,000 to 50,000 or 5,000 to 10,000 is going to be the same steps to get from 500 to 5,000. So I genuinely wouldn't change anything. But that's not financial advice. That's what I would do if I were in that situation. So shout out to you guys. But with all that being said, the fear is real. Shout out to Be Right Crypto. Absolutely. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Dave Digital. Said, are we going to talk about that short that you low-key flashed on screen with the SFP? When did I do that? Oh, did I pull up? I pulled up this chart, didn't I? Oh, no, wait, where was that? Dave, how do you know this? Dave, you can't know. How do you know that? Dave, you can't spy on me like that, man. Well, I could talk about this really quick. So I'll just go over this briefly because I actually wanted to go over this a little bit more, but we're kind of running out of time here. But this was a trade that I put in the Discord earlier today, and this is already played out, right? So this is the premium Discord, but I just want to be clear, this is all played out already, right? This is not something that you can go take right now. Full disclosure, this is already played out. But what I was looking for on that trade, for educational reasons, basically what I was looking at, I'll just read it off here. If we do get the shorts, oh wait, hang on, let me come up here. Here it is, right? We were looking at the, for the most part, this was the setup I was looking at. Another entry I'd be interested in is seeing as we have a 15-minute green dot would be to come take the highs, put in that 15-minute bear div, and if we can SFP those highs, that would be extra saucy. So literally, this is what I was looking for, a push-up to take these highs and then get that SFP, right? If you don't know what an SFP is, it is simply when you get a wick above a certain level and then you get a push back to the downside and that candle closes below that SFP level. That is oftentimes where you see a quick move to the downside. Guys, I'll tell you this, I have an SFP video on the channel, and I'll be honest with you, this is one of the, in my opinion, this is one of the easier, and I don't want to say easy, but simple trading strategies, and with an extremely high hit rate. And not only that, it is an extremely, they play out dramatically most of the time. And I'm going to show you this exact thing. So what I was looking for here was to come up, get the SFP, in turn, putting in that 15-minute bearish divergence with the higher highs on price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. And the reason I was sitting out of my entry on these first two zones that I was looking for the short at was because I had that 15-minute green dot. Why would I take the short here? Not that you can't, right? You just got to be willing to take a little bit of the ride. But for me, I like to get those sniper entries. So when I come up into the zone, I was sitting here and I'm like, oh, now we got a 15-minute green dot. This is likely going to push us up a little bit more. And then I started looking at price and I'm like, well, if this comes up and we get a lower high on the momentum wave here, it's probably going to give us a bear div. And then I'm like, well, there's probably a lot of liquidity sitting above this high from the people who shorted the top here. People who shorted at about $71,000 or a little bit high, a little bit over $71,000. Their stop losses are probably going to be just above this level of resistance, right? So if I saw that 15-minute bear div with that SFP as a little chef's kiss to give us extra oomph, extra marron to the downside, I could expect an aggressive move to the downside. And what happened? I'll show you. It's actually pretty funny. That's not what I wanted to do. And then you can see we came in, right? And then what happens on that 15-minute green dot? I actually kind of like this, walking you guys through this. Green dot was still there. What happened? Price pushed up. Why would I take the short here if I knew it was likely in the short term to push up higher, right? So now we're getting close. We're getting close. I'm not taking the short yet, but we're getting close to that SFP, and we're getting close to taking that high, which is what we need to put in that 15-minute bear div. Let's keep going. That was a different post. And here we are. Price comes up, puts in the higher high. You can see that we did get that swing failure pattern as the price wicked above this level, wicked back down, and closed below it. That was the SFP. And then what happened shortly after that? Absolute dumpski to the downside. Together with the Candle Mafia, those SFPs give you those saucy fast moves. Don't forget to take some money off the table. Bing bong. So there you go. And shout out to Dave. I can't believe you sniped that, bro. That is what we were talking about in the premium. But again, this is already played out. This is already done. So otherwise I wouldn't have shown it. But just to show you guys kind of live here, I mean, there it is, right? Your higher highs on price, pull up the momentum waves, right? Higher highs, whoops, lower highs, and then you had that SFP as well, right? And this is what I mean by SFP. You want to see price wick above that zone. I'll get rid of this divergence line. You want price, I'll even hide this value area high to make it more clear. You want to wick above that SFP, come back down, close that candle below, and if you were not trading based off of all the confirmations that I was looking at, I like to have as many confirmations as possible, but if you were just trading this as an SFP, really all you need to see is the wick above, the closure below, and then as soon as the next candle prints, that's typically your entry. And the one thing that I absolutely love about these is you typically get the boom, those big snappy moves to the downside. They're typically not trades where you just kind of wiggle around and it's all sketchy. Typically, once it confirms, you do get those big moves, right? Not 100% of the time, but it's a very, very simple trading strategy. And I have a tutorial. I'm sure the mods probably already dropped it because they're just that on point. But that is what I look for in general. But if you want to watch that full tutorial, I give you guys exactly how I trade these from seeing them identified on the higher time frame and then going down to the lower time frame to get that sniper entry like I did on this. Check out that tutorial on the channel, and there you go. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and continue on, guys. We took a look at Ethereum. I am dripping sweat like under this shirt. I hope I don't start showing through this. But anyway, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, shout out to Darren Dusting says, Frank, we had some fresh single prints created on the pump that got filled in the dump between 70,400 and 70,200. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Also, another trading coach out in that premium Discord, giving his own sauce. So not only do you get my trades and my setups and my TA daily, you also get Darren Does Things, and his channel is pretty saucy. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check out the link in the description down below if you want to sign up for the premium, or you can head over to frankiecandlestrading.com, where we also have all our deals if you want to trade. I know a lot of people are having trouble finding places to trade. Blowfin is one of the great places that I hear a lot of people don't have a lot of trouble on, and that is where I have been trading a lot recently with all the exchanges changing their rules. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm sure Tony will drop a link, or you can check the link in the description down below. Or you can just go to the website. We have all our deals there as well. But let's go ahead and continue on here and go ahead and take a quick look at Sui. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Came in here. Did you hear me say I was sweating? Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Came in and just put on the, hey, Mrs. Candles, can you maybe grab the thermometer? Never mind. Anyway, shout out to Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles deals with me. I'm like a little kid sometimes when I'm sick. It's like, I want a sandwich. All right, let's see. Shout out to Redman. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at Sui. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Oh, my God. Shout out to Redman. Said 117 in Las Vegas. It's swamp weather. Swamp something weather. Shout out to Redman. That is not very fun. And then Luana says, hey, Frankie, what do you think about Render and what will be its the next big target? Thanks for your streams. It helps me a lot. Shout out to Luana. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. No problem. You don't got to thank me. I'm literally up here doing what I love to do, even if I don't feel good doing it. But let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. Shout out to Al Jr. said DXY getting a pump. Ooh, baby. We could take a look at the DXY as well. But let's jump into Sui really quickly here. I don't believe this is our Sui chart. Let's check the Coinbase chart. There it is. So let's see what we got here. We could probably make a new chart here. Key support. I'm going to leave this support zone down here because this is still valid. You have a daily naked point of control as well as this untapped naked value area, which we kind of front ran slightly. But that would be another key level to be keeping an eye on. This daily naked point of control is now tapped as we rejected it. Yeah, we could probably get rid of most of this. Yeah, I'll leave the 786. Is this monthly naked point of control still valid? It is, but gotta move it right hither. Okay, so let's take a look here, right? So technically, in the grand scheme of things, take a look at the daily, right? We were wiggling around in this value area, came up, lost it, bearish retest, breakdown, almost came down to tap that next level of support, but we did wind up holding this 786. I would say this 786 is probably your key level of support. Once you lose this, probably going to be much more likely to come down into this value area between 87 and 79 cents. So this is definitely still going to be key down here. And then locally, that 786 is going to be key for you to hold. As long as you can remain above that 786, I think you could go for that value area low / monthly naked point of control, which are pretty close to each other. So this would be, I'll give you the levels on this. This would be your key resistance if you get the move up. Could take days, could take weeks, could happen tonight. But this is definitely going to be your key level of resistance, not only to be looking for a potential pullback, but also this would be the zone that you have to flip to support in order to get that bigger move into the value area to start coming up closer towards that $1.54 POC. So that's kind of the situation going on there. Now taking a look at your, 2-day green dot, you don't have divergences here, unfortunately. I would have loved to see this be a 2-day bull div. Otherwise, I'd be very confident of a bigger move up. Let's come on to the 3-day. Yeah, you have the 3-day green dot, no divergence. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly looking for a green dot. This actually does not look too bad. Other than maybe some kind of wiggling around, maybe, again, if you lose that 786, probably going to get a bigger move down towards this level. But other than that, as long as you can remain above that 786, I would look to potentially grind up or just kind of continue to range around here. And then this is your key doorway to higher prices once you flip that. And then this is your doorway to lower prices, potentially bringing you down there. That's your if this, then that statement on SUI. Other than that, I'll be honest, this weekly does look somewhat primed. For at least somewhat of a bigger move up, potentially targeting that $1.18 value area low. So that's what I'd be looking at here on SUI. And then locally, take a look at that 4-hour green dot printing on your 4-hour. Take a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, 15-minute money flow crossover could lead to a much bigger move up locally, right? This is the 15-minute. But let's see here. What's that 1 hour look like? Money flow crossover, 12-hour. Yeah. Other than that, I'd be like sideways bullish on this until you lose the 786. But other than that, kind of choppy, to be quite honest with you. Bitcoin starts to clear up, and SUI starts to add a little bit of murkiness to that water. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Redman, says flat smack that like button and flat smack that sub button too. Shout out to Flat Smack tuning in. Always reminding you guys to flat smack that like button. If we get 500 likes, I'm going to be giving away, I think I said 3 Frankie Candles hats. If we get 550, we'll give away some Cardano as well. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, shout out to Flat Smack, said Bears wrecked. Let's go. But let's see here. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and yeah, shout out to Darren Does Things. This is why Darren is in the premium with me. Shout out to Darren, says, SUI dump from that 786, puts in the bull divs. Shout out to Darren. So let's come out to those higher time frames. What Darren is talking about here is this 2-day money flow crossover into the red's not the prettiest, but if we break that 786 and get the push down, could potentially, depending on what this wave does, right, could potentially put in that divergence finally to get that bigger move up. And this would be, in my opinion, shout out to Darren, this would be a much better setup for a big move than what we're seeing right now, in my own personal opinion. Doesn't mean we can't move up from here, but I would much rather see that move down to put in those divergences to get that big move up. Shout out to Darren Does Things for dropping sauce of his own in the chat. Let's go. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to TRT Farmer, said, there's the sauciest tip of the day, courtesy of Frankie Candles and Darren Does Things. Shout out to TRT Farmer. Hope you're doing well, bro. Tell the fam I said hi. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's go ahead and take a look at Solana, which I actually was looking at just before the live stream here, and the headache is really setting in now. But let's take a look here. I'll be honest with you guys. Solana really doing the same thing it's been doing. Let me go ahead and shrink this so we can take a better look. Take a look at the 12-hour. Yeah. Key levels all respected, right? We have this. We have these zones marked out. We have this local value area right here, which we knew was going to act. We're going to act as intermediary turbulence on our way to potentially visiting that value area high. And what happened? We flipped this blue box to support, which is what we needed for the move to the POC, or at least the move up to these levels here. We came up, rejected that weekly naked point of control, and then came up for that daily and finally got a bigger rejection. But again, remember, in the grand scheme of things, as we've been tracking along Solana, as it's been up here, we want to, this is basically just turbulence, in my opinion, on the way to that bigger target, which is going to be that value area high of the range, right? And the nice thing here, in my opinion, is that your value area low and your POC are all the way at the bottom of the range, right? So this really means that the next major target, now that we're above this POC, the next major target is that value area high. So, but again, we understand that these were going to give us turbulence on the way. They did, right? So could we get rid of these? I'm going to hide them just because they're not invalid. They're not like insignificant now, but they are tapped. They're no longer naked points of control. So now this daily naked point of control and value area high would be the next major targets. I would include this value area high this local value area high as resistance, but it's just so close to that daily naked point of control that I would probably just be looking at the next target to be right here. Now, could we continue to reject those naked points of control that we just rejected? Sure. Maybe we range around. Price action is ugly, but again, once you flip that POC, price action's confusing, price action's messy. It likes to try to trick you, but eventually you are going to expect that move to the value area high. Hey, mods, Tony D, Rob, Tyler, Crypto Anon, Crypto Billy, Kembro, anybody? How is my mic? Is my audio good, or is it still clipping? Because it looks like it's clipping to me. That might be better. Somebody commented, you got to fix that mic. I don't know. Did that fix it? That might have fixed it. Let me know if that fixed it. I know I got a strong voice. He said, mic is good for me. Good. It's good. All good. Okay. Wow. Shout out to you guys. Audio is fine. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you guys. Shout out to Dave, says, it's great. Well, Dave, is it my voice that sounds good? Some people say I have a radio voice. I don't really hear it, though. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Yeah, shout out to Dave Digital, said he's not – Dave, you're not an unofficial mod. You are the unofficial, most official, unofficial mod of the CandleMafia. The only one. Shout out to Dave Digital. Okay, shout out to Flashback and Gen Z. Thank you. Gen Z said sus. Fake Mike, fake wrench. Yo, shout out to Mark Dutch. But guys, that's what I'd be looking at on Solana here. And as we take a look at the daily, green dot is printing somewhat of a trigger wave here. Now, is this screaming, oh my God, we're going to Lambo land? Probably not. In my opinion, you do have kind of a double anchor wave here, right? This is almost at your oversold level, but that would be your anchor wave. This would be your trigger wave. I think we all are familiar with these things. At least most of us are, right? They look like that. I don't want to say what it's called, right? That would be your trigger wave. And, you know, this would make me anticipate some kind of move back up. However, your money flow on the daily really needs to shape up because this is still in the red, which as long as this remains in the red, you're going to anticipate any bounces to the upside to be lackluster before continuing down. Doesn't mean that we're going to go right back to the value area low, but we really want this daily money flow to shape back up. To kind of front run that, we can go down to the 16-hour or 12-hour and see what that money flow is doing. 16, yeah, back in the green. 12-hour, back in the green. 10-hour, not so pretty. 8-hour, yeah, I would say it's still a little bit chopped up here. I could feel the signals becoming more clear, but they are still definitely a little bit mixed here. But off that daily trigger wave with that green dot, I would potentially be looking for some kind of move to the upside. I'll give a little freebie setup here. Yeah, money flow crossover into the green here on the 90-minute as well. You guys know when you see those green dots on the daily with the 90-minute money flow crossovers, sometimes the money flow crossover is where you see the bigger move up begin. So that could be a situation that we see there. Just dig into this a little bit for fun. I'm going to pull this. Kind of a wonked out range. But that money flow crossover on the 90-minute could be the thing that gives us that bigger move up when paired with that green dot on the daily, especially when it's a trigger wave like that. But if you do get a move up, I want to be clear. It does not mean that we're necessarily going to Lambo land, right? What we could be doing here is setting up for a pretty nice, like I was showing you guys on that scalp short, the way this daily is looking, if you come up, you could put in a nice daily bearish divergence. Now, this doesn't mean that once you get up here, we're going down forever. It just means that that could be a possibility or an opportunity to take little scalp shorts on the way back down for a likely retracement. And as long as you know how to use those the context of the higher time frames to get into a low time frame scalp, you could scalp these little moves down. Maybe you come up if you did get the move to the upside and you pulled your fib, say you just perfectly reject the value area high. That retracement would likely come into that golden pocket 786 retracement in my experience. And if that did happen, that would be a nice 14% move. Plenty of money to be made on those little scalp shorts. Like I said, I was scalp short on Bitcoin, but I am still holding both of my swing longs, right? I am bullish in the long term. I don't want anyone to get that twisted, right? Just like we were looking at on Bitcoin, remaining above that POC, remaining with that bullish change of character, as long as that market structure still looks good, the anticipated move would be to the upside. But that doesn't mean that we can't keep an eye on those moves to the downside to capitalize on those little retracements. So, there we go. That is what I'd be looking at on Solana in the medium term and kind of the longer term as well, depending on how quickly we can get up to that value area high. All right. Oh, shout out to Randy Hipper. What is going on, Randy? Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to you. Hang on, I got a sound on my soundboard here, Randy. Maroon. It sounds just like you, Randy. Shout out to Randy. I got to figure out how to get something. My paisan. I need you to say some Italian stuff so I could get it on my soundboard here. I got to figure out how to do that. But what is going on, Randy? Show Randy some love in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But let's go ahead and continue on. Sui Sol. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Algo, which I'm not saying that Algorand won't do well, but I will say I do own Algorand, but I'm glad I didn't go in as heavy as I originally wanted to on Algorand. Hasn't really been a gigantic mover so far. Not that I don't think it will be a big mover. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't want to be clear. I don't think Algorand's not going to do well, but I just think there's a lot. I'm happy that a lot of my capital got allocated to other things. I planned on putting a lot of money into Algo, and I just wound up allocating it other places and kind of never got around to it, and I'm kind of happy about that, right? Because this thing has just been flip-flopping all over the place. It just can never, it like was unable to catch a break. Like, when were these other altcoins starting to get pops? Like that Dogecoin pop to the upside really started happening, I would say, February, right? And then we got like 150, 160% move. So, I mean, Algorand just, this is Cardano. Where's it? Algorand. Yeah, I mean, February, I guess you did get a pretty decent move. Just wasn't as explosive as Dogecoin, but a lot of other stuff didn't pump as explosively as Dogecoin either. But anyway, I don't like this. Let me take a look at a different chart here. This one's hideous. God, they're all ugly. All right, I'll just start a new one here. For the most part, I don't really think there's much to cover here on Algorand, to be honest with you. Take a look at the weekly. VWAP creeping towards that zero line money flow. Can't catch a break here on the money flow. This is what I mean. It's like every time it looks like it's going to move, it just gets slapped back down. Very interesting. But that VWAP coming back up, looking for a green dot on the weekly, typically does give you decent moves here. Let me go ahead and pull this profile real quick. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, right? Like, looking at this in the kind of short to medium term, yeah, I mean, you went from the value area low to the POC to the high. We actually haven't gotten back down to the low just yet. Yeah, I mean, this is just a wonked out range. We could look more locally. I would probably rather look at this local range. So, yeah, I would look at this as your local levels for Algorand, right? Which I guess this is the 4 hour. This isn't even really that local anymore. This is kind of longer term. But there you go, right? These are the key levels I would be looking at on Algorand. You have your value area high sitting at 19 cents, almost 20 cents. POC sitting at 19 cents. And then you have your value area low sitting at about 17 cents, right? And what happened here? We simply tested the lows, came to the POC, went for the high, probably tapped the high at the time. I assume that's probably where the value area high was. No, it actually wasn't. So went for the high. Well, I guess you really went from the low, POC, didn't even hit the low, back to the high, right? So this keeps that value area theory in play here. You hold the lows, and you are waiting to hit that POC as your next target. Now, I probably would have closed my full trade as this was very close to the value area high. But if you took partial profit here, you could still technically hold this trade, and you still went to that value area high. This is how ugly price action can be. But if you stick to the value area theory, more often than not, you will get that visit, even if you come within like ticks of the value area low. More often than not, you will go test that high again. It is like magic. But at that point, I will say, you lost the value area high, you lost the POC. That makes the next likely place for price to go here for Algorand, technically based off the value area, this value area low at 17 cents. Now, are you guaranteed to get there? Not necessarily, but taking a look at the daily, VWAP coming up, money flow still in the red, 2-day red dot confirmed. Is that a blood diamond? Of course it is. Yep, we got a blood diamond there on the 2-day as well. Check that 3-day red dot printing. Yeah, I think that's probably, I'll leave you guys with that, right? I'd be watching this value area. Again, you could screenshot these levels if you want. And just the fact that we're under that POC, next likely place is probably going to be that value area high or value area low at 17 cents or 0.1712. No guarantees, but that is statistically more likely where we are headed, just based off back testing this stuff. And even with that 3-day, is it the 3-day? Yeah, 3-day red dot. 4-day, looking for a red dot as well. But then you come to the weekly, and it's looking for a green dot. So I'll be honest, probably looking a little bit choppy here. So as long as you don't lose this value area low, or if we do come down there, could look for longs. If we come back up to the POC, flip the POC, I'd just be using this value area as context into where price is likely to go next. And in my opinion, or just based off my experience, I should say, not really my opinion, the next likely place would be that. Is it going to bing bong around for a month and then go there? Maybe, right? There's no way to tell that. But just, statistically, even here, right? You might have been sitting here waiting for that value area high, and then you're like, oh my God, I was wrong. 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 Oh wait, hang on. No, I wasn't. There we go. Bing bong, right? But sometimes it gets very ugly and confusing. But these are the key levels I would be looking at. Let me see. Yeah, those are the key levels that I would be looking at for the most part. Other than that, market cipher, little bit choppy down here. But yeah, those are the key levels I'd be looking at, and my general thoughts on algo. Shout out to Algorand. Does the algo community have a name? The algo assassins. I don't know. But anyway, let's see. Shout out to Randy. Says BTC needs to smash 71K like right now. I agree with you, Randy. I agree with you. Dave Digital said we already have tickets to the moon. Thanks. Shout out to Dave. You guys are funny. All right, let's see. Shout out to Edward. Says, hey, Frankie, do you use fair value gaps, or do you have a video explaining this? Thanks so much. I actually do have a video on the channel. That would be a challenge for the mods. This is an older video. I should probably... the Algerlocks. Yo, shout out to Tony D. That's funny. Algo is my baby, Dave. Shout out to Mark. Yes, I don't use fair value gaps very often. When I do use fair value gaps, oftentimes it's not part of my main strategy. It's funny. If you look at the charts long enough, and this is why I never force people or try to tell people that my way of trading is the only way. Do we have great success? I mean, we just went over the last trade recap that I did with the that we took in the premium Discord earlier today. Link in the description down below if you guys are interested. But the more you look at the charts, right? This is why I always say, sure, my strategies, my techniques work, right? Absolutely. We show them every day here, live. But that does not mean that's not the only way to trade, right? By far. There's a million different ways to trade, and the longer that you look at the price action, the longer you look at the charts, the more you start to realize, this guy, right? So shout out to Fair Value Gaps. This is something that I don't know if ICT, the Inner Circle Trader, if you guys know who he is, I actually highly recommend you guys go check him out. He talks a lot about mentality. He talks about the important stuff in trading. He talks about a lot of what I talk about, which is I think he's a Forex trader, but apparently he has a cult following. Someone mentioned him here. I looked him up, and this guy, people are crazy about this guy. I listened to a couple of his videos, and he does these mentorship things where it's he just puts free videos on YouTube, and he just talks people through the real struggle of trading, the real journey of trading, and the real hard part of trading, which is the journey, right? It's the being able to handle losing trades, being able to handle trying your hardest at something for a long time and being successful, and then starting to lose and not letting that psych you out, right, and ruin your mindset. And he talks a lot about mindset. This is why I like it. I recommend you guys go check him out. But here's the thing. The Algo Randoms, yo, shout out to Tony Ross. That one is good. But yeah, I highly recommend checking that out. But I believe he trades he just trades price action. He basically I believe he waits for a very similar, right? This is why I say the more you look at the charts, the more you realize oh, that guy took a short off a fair value gap, right? So oftentimes this is from what I understand, I don't really know much about him, but from what I see, I believe I don't know if he invented fair value gaps, but basically what he waits for is a break of structure, I think, and then he waits for a retest into a fair value gap, and then that's where he takes his entry. I'm sure I'm butchering this, and it's not detailed enough, but I guess the general gist of it is he waits for the break of structure, and then he waits for a retest on a fair value gap, and then that's where he takes his entry, which is almost exactly what I trade, but using different tools. So if I were trading this, right, I would have a volume profile over this ranging price action. It's very often what I trade, but just using totally different tools. It's almost the same setup though, right? I would have a fair value gap. I would have a volume profile over this price action, and I would sometimes, right, if you don't get in from the high, which is typically what I like to do, I like to short the top. But if I don't short the top, I would wait for a break here of this range, and then I would wait for a retest of what? The value area low. And where are those value area lows? Very likely right on fair value gaps. And when I do look at fair value gaps, I used to look at them a little more than I do currently. But I use Lux Algo, right? Like Lux Algo marks out the fair value gaps, which, by the way, like these are things that you could just find on price action, right? By just looking at the candlesticks. But this just makes it much easier, right? You don't have to like hunt for them. But you could see, right, if I hide the TA here, you could see, right, fair value gap here, fair value gap here, bearish fair value gap right here. And oftentimes, right, price likes to go retest these areas. Like this is a perfect example right here. Let me actually look at this, right? And again, I could be butchering this guy's strategy for all I know. But from what I understand, I watch a lot of TikTok, and there's a couple of TikTok Forex traders that trade his concepts. So they always talk about it, and I always like think about it. But anyway, like right here, right, you could see you get a break of structure, and then what happens? Price comes up, tests that fair value gap, and then you get a dump. I would be looking at this very similarly, right? Except what would I be looking at? I would be looking at, oh my God, we're approaching the value area high. Let me zoom into a lower time frame and see if I can find an entry. And what would I be looking for on this entry, right? I would probably be looking at something like this, right? I'd probably be looking at the volume profile. Probably be looking at the volume profile, and I would be looking at a retest, right? I would be looking to short right here, right? Why? Because once you break down out of that volume profile, you may come up to bearishly retest that value area lower POC before getting the actual move to the downside. If you can get a 786 golden pocket on this, it's even saucier. And look at that. You can't make it up. Like, look at that, right? So I would be trading based off this, but someone else might be trading fair value gaps, and they might just be trading off the top of that fair value gap. Right? But I don't even know that fair value gap's there. I'm looking at this as a POC value area low. And this is why I don't shove my stuff down people's throats. I mean, I do if you watch the content, because I assume that means you want to learn it. But this is why I tell people, like, I don't trade patterns. People successfully trade patterns. I just don't do it, right? It's all price action. Price is going to move no matter what, right? My setup's not going to play out sometimes, and someone else's setup's not going to play out sometimes. But that's like a perfect example. Hopefully that kind of made sense. That was kind of a beautiful example. So yeah, I used to use fair value gaps a lot more. Now when I look at them, sometimes I will put a little bit more validity on things. I will just use Lux Algo to pop up those fair value gaps to be like, hey, if there's a fair value gap in here, I'll just use it as an additional piece of confluence, right? If that fair value gap was something that I would be interested in shorting, if I were using fair value gaps, I could just use it as a confirmation. Be like, and you got a bearish fair value gap there too. Not unlikely to tap that in reverse as well. So there you go. Hopefully that was a little bit educational. Drop a hashtag value in chat if that helped you out or you learned anything in this live stream. Shout out to Luana, said, Frankie, you forgot to look at the render chart. All right, let me take a quick look at render. Let's go ahead. Only because I love you, Luana. It's the only reason. I don't know a better reason to look at render, to be honest with you. Let's see. Bada boom. We got fair value gaps. I'm just kidding. I mean, we do, but that doesn't really mean much for me. But anyway, let's take a quick look here at render. Okay. So I think actually what I'll do, Luana, I think you wanted a next major target. So what I will do here, is I'll pull a fib extensiones. Bada boom. Okay. So if you're talking, breaking the highs here at 1365, 1535 is probably going to be that next major target. I'll even mark this out for you. So Luana, if we wind up hitting that target and you come in and say, we hit the target, I'll be like, what? And then you'll be like, go to the render chart, look at your targets, we hit it. And then we'll pull up these levels. So target one, in my opinion, would be, target one would be 1535. And I would honestly just look at these fib extension levels. I wouldn't even really complicate it much more. Target two would be sitting up here at about 1665. And then right here would be target three. Right now, I'm not saying that like, oh my God, buckle up, we're about to go to $18. But, if we break these highs, probably going to be likely that would be the first place we start to get snagged up on. Yo, shout out to Luana. Said, I'm sure I'll come to the Discord and screenshot that win. Shout out to Luana. But let's go ahead. Luana, let me know. Am I butchering that name or am I saying that right? I'm not great with words sometimes. But, I will say this. I mean, you have somewhat of a wonked out range here. I don't know if I'd really be paying much attention to that. I mean, heck, is this a bullish pennant? Maybe. Is it a descending triangle? Maybe. One would be bearish, one would be bullish. But if we saw this break to the upside, I would, let's say this is a pennant, right? I would take this measurement like that, which you can't make that up. You can't make that up. So I'm not saying that if we break out here, you're definitely going to come to this level. Remember, price action is scary, confusing, and annoying. You're not just going to get that move up there like that, very likely. Probably be something like this. Oh, my God. Holy cow. Oh, my God. What's going on? Oh, my God. It's going to zero. Oh, my God. Finally, we got there, right? Typically, it's something obnoxious like that. But that technical move, a technical target brings you right up almost to the dollar. To that level, right? So that would be the next major target. Luan, I think that's really the question you had. But whoops. What just happened? What is this? What? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Okay, whatever. I don't know what that was. Somehow I pasted a picture. I guess I had that copied. Interesting. That confused me because it was a picture of a chart. So I was like, wait, did I just copy a whole cluster of TA? That would have been lit. God, shout out to TradingView. If there was a way, maybe there is a way. If there was a way to select all your TA, copy it, and then go to a different chart. Oh my God. You can do it. You can do it. Now I don't know why this would be very useful, but yeah, I guess it would only be useful if you hang on a second here, guys. Hang on a second. Hang on. Let me just see something. I'll experiment with this off stream. That was wild. Anyway, you learn something new every day. But let's go ahead and take a look at render again here. Let's just go ahead and take a quick look at the indicators. Green dot printing on your daily here. Is that 90-minute money flow crossing over into the green? It did. So yeah, I would say locally, the target that we just looked at would be much more longer term. So for the more local move, if that 90-minute money flow continues into the green, I think that next major target would probably be sitting here with this value area high, golden pocket confluence, sitting between 1089 and 1082. Right? So maybe that green dot confirms, or maybe that green dot prints on the 90-minute. Money flow continues into the green. Daily green dot confirms. I would just naturally be expecting that to be your next major target. That's what I'd be looking for. So if you get the bigger move up locally, $10.80 might be the next stop, 1085. And then in the longer term, I would be looking up towards those major targets. But understand, the target up here at 1534 would be like much longer term, right? Not expecting that overnight or anything like that, or maybe not even in the next month or two. That would be longer term. But locally, I would potentially look for a move up there with that daily green dot and 90-minute money flow crossover into the green. Let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Wick589. Said, oh my God, Randy, were you here when Frank said he'd be in Nashville for the BTC conference? That's just after the Litecoin Summit. Shout out to Randy. Are you going to be in Nashville? Let me know. We'd love to hang out. But let's go ahead and I think, how long do we go for here? There we go. I guess, I don't know what to say, guys. I think I'm just going to stop saying short streams. And then if we have to end it short, I'm just going to start ending them short because every single time, could it go back to the $5 worst case? Shout out to Luana. Let's see. Ooh, $5 would be rough. Shout out to all the dogs out there. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, that would be like, I'm not saying it can't happen, but yeah, I wouldn't be expecting $5. $8 would probably be like a more realistic bearish target. Again, not that you can't go to $5, but yeah, $5 would be pretty brutal in my opinion. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Yeah, shout out to Dave Digital said, we make you feel better. Shout out to Dave. Yeah, it is funny. It's like, I mean, I say this all the time. It's like sometimes, it's actually hasn't happened in a while, but like even sometimes when you're just tired, right? Like, I come up here with all the energy I possibly can, even when I'm exhausted. It's very easy to come up here and see you guys pop in the chat, and it literally just lights me on fire. So shout out to the Mafia for that. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Don't forget that head over to FrankieCandlesTrading.com if you want to check out any of our deals or buy one of these beautiful Frankie Candles hats. And don't forget, I don't think we hit 500 likes, but if we hit 500 likes before the end of the stream, everybody smash that like button in 3, 2, 1. That's 3. Smash the like button. If we get 500 likes before the music stops tonight, I will still give away those 3 Frankie Candles hats. And with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Sorry for the not short live stream. Hopefully I feel 100% tomorrow. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Shout out to Randy is apparently speaking at the Litecoin Summit. Is it in Nashville? Interesting. We should probably try to see that. If we can, we will show for you, Randy. Shout out to you. And shout out to Tom Crown too. I don't know if I shouted Tom out. He was in the chat. I don't know if I shouted him out earlier. But shout out to Wick said, I think it was Wick said, was Tom Crown here? I went to the bathroom for 5 minutes. I missed everything. But shout out to Randy. Shout out to Tom Crown. Shout out to Dave Digital, Wick589, Crypto Crabman, Gen Z, Jacko24, Sustainable Crypto. Shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to the CandleMafia. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go to sleep. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out.